Okay, so you've got your new course and you're ready to get your students sorted out. That is, get them each an account and then get them into your course. So the way to do this most easily is generally with an enrollment key. So let's figure out how to do that. So first of all, you're logging into the site, and then we head into our course or into your course. And the way to do this, one way is just to scroll down and look under My Courses for it. Or a second way is to use the navigation on the left here. Now, if your tab is closed, you may end up opening it up or closing it. But we're looking for your course, so we open it up and perhaps click on an example course here. So once we're in the course, this is your new course, and you can note the name of the course just so that your students can find it when you send out that email. But for now, let's set up the enrollment key. So we head over to the left, and under Course Administration, and we're going to go down to Users and Enrolled Users or Enrollment Methods. So we're going to go here, and this brings up the different enrollment methods that are available in your course. Now we're looking for this one right here called Self-Enrollment Student. Now if it's not there, you can always add it. So you can have an add method, but we have it there already, so we're good to go. The second thing you want to note is that it's enabled, and that means that this eye is shown as open. So you as a teacher can go on here and you can click it, and that will close the eye, so that shows it disabled and it's enabled. So we want that eye to be open. We want it enabled. So there we go. So now this is available. So now we just have to set the enrollment key. So let's click on the gear, and it brings up some details around how the students will enroll. So we look down, and most of these settings can be left as default. The first two, let's just set those as yes. And then here's the enrollment key. So what you want to do is you want to click on the pencil so that you can change the enrollment key to your own specific one. So in other words, you don't want to keep the default, you want to put in your own enrollment key. And you can click on the little magnifying glass to see what was in there. Now, in your case, you may be changing it to, say, your last name 2020 or something that has a little bit of uniqueness to it that you can give to your students and they can get into your course. And so we're not using group enrollment keys, and we are assigning them as default students. So everything else here, the enrollment times and stuff like that, none of them are enabled, and we can go down to the bottom and hit Save Changes. And now you're ready to go. So now there's an enrollment key, and you know what it is. And so that allows you to message out to your students and just tell them to find your course, and you've got the name of the course, and then tell them what the enrollment key is. And then what they do is once they make their account, they go find your course by that particular name, they click on it, it'll ask for an enrollment key, and you put them in. Now, one thing I'll point out here is once you have all your students in, and you can manually add them in too, you can add any time if you wish, but the bottom line is once you have everybody in, a lot of teachers would go back here, back into the same place, click on the gear, and they would change that enrollment key again, maybe add an extra digit at the end. And the only reason to do this is some of your students will think it's funny to pass the enrollment key to their friends, and suddenly you'll end up with a few extra names in your course and you won't know why. And it really doesn't make a lot of difference, but it can cause a little bit of confusion. So what a lot of teachers do is they send out that enrollment key, they get everybody in there, and when they figure they got pretty much everybody in, they'll go back and they'll add an extra digit. And then if somebody comes along in a week that you forgot and they didn't get in, you can just tell them what that new enrollment key is, or you can change it or add them manually, whatever you want. But it's a way to just clean things up. It kind of shuts the door behind your students, just kind of saying, okay, I've got everybody in, I don't need to let any additional people in at this point. So that's a little tip if you want to use it. But otherwise, you're ready to mail out to your students.